Let me start with a quick scene. A marketing assistant automation sees a hot lead, creates a booking on a calendar, and later the customer complains. They never asked to be called. They never agreed to a callback. Suddenly, the business is dealing with upset customers and a refund request. That tiny mismatch between what the automation did and what the customer expected cost time, trust, and a little reputational stress. Sound familiar? Good, because that's what we're fixing today.
What happened, in plain English, as teams stitch AI and automation into CRMs, chatbots and billing systems, actions start to execute without a single human double-check. Consent gets captured in a dozen places: web forms, chat transcripts, voice prompts, even inferred from behaviour, and those capture points don't always map cleanly to the actions triggered by your workflows. The result is a consent mismatch. The system thinks it can act, the customer thinks it cannot, and your help desk gets the fallout.
Why it matters for founders and ops leads. First, trust. Customers judge you faster than you expect. Second, complaint volume. Each mismatch creates support work and potential refunds. Third, regulatory and reputational risk. Acting beyond consent can escalate. And beyond those risks, there's a simpler operational cost. When automations behave unpredictably, teams stop trusting them and automation adoption stalls. That kills the upside of all the clever agents and workflows you've built. So here's the fix I want you to own this week: the customer consent check, a 12-minute vendor-agnostic routine you can run on any automation. It's built on 3 evidence fields you can capture in 2 to 3 lines for each automated action. Field 1, consent source, where and how we recorded consent. For example, form ID equals lead capture 2026, timestamp, or chatbot consent v2. Field 2, scope map, a short mapping of what was allowed to what the system did. For example, allowed equals receive marketing SMS versus action equals automated billing SMS. Field 3, override owner, who can stop or correct the action, a name or role and contact point. Those 3 fields let you trace, quickly, whether an action was within bounds and who owns a fix when it isn't.
How to run the 12-minute audit. Minute 1, pick an automated action, anything that writes or sends on the customer's behalf. Minute 2, find the consent record in the UI. Search your CRM for the lead ID, check form submissions or pull chat transcript snippets. Minute 3, map the scope. Write the scope_map as a one-line comparison. Permitted scopes on the left, actual automated action on the right. Minute 4, verify override owner. Is there a documented human who can stop or remediate this action? If any of those are missing, flag the flow. You can do this manually in a spreadsheet or create a tiny log inside your CRM, but the task is about evidence, not engineering.
Now, practical pilots you can run this week: 3 that protect high-impact actions without breaking conversion. Pilot A, lead follow-ups. Before your automated SMS or email fires, sample 10 recent follow-ups. For each, confirm consent source shows explicit opt-in for contact by that channel and that scope map includes receive follow-up SMS. If you find mismatches, switch that flow to a read-only verification. Send an internal alert to the rep instead of an outbound message while you fix consent records. Pilot B, billing triggers. Whenever your system issues invoices or charges cards, verify an explicit billing consent, not implied click-throughs. If billing consent is missing, require a fresh confirmation step before auto-billing. Pilot C, voice callbacks. Voice agents that call and record are especially sensitive. Confirm the call consent was captured and that recording consent is visible. If you can't find it, fall back to a human-mediated callback until consent is resolved. Acceptance checks, how you know the audit is healthy. Sample size, aim for consent trace present in 95% of sampled actions. Scope parity, for each action, the scope map must match the automated behaviour, no surprises. Opt-out, the customer must be able to stop the automated action within one interaction or a single clear instruction. If your sample fails these checks, you've found a remediation sprint. Stop or reduce automated actions for affected flows, fix consent capture, and add override owners. Risks and limitations to watch for. First, legacy consent records can be ambiguous or buried. Older CSV imports, offline forms, or voice notes that don't map neatly to modern fields. Second, asking for fresh consent across the board will reduce conversion if handled clumsily. Third, consent evidence itself can contain sensitive PII. You don't want your order log becoming an exposure point. These are real operational frictions, not reasons to avoid doing the check.
Mitigations I recommend. Start conservative. Audit only high-impact write actions first: billing, bookings and voice callbacks. Use short reversible pilots. Run a read-only verification phase where the automation doesn't act until a human confirms. That measures conversion impact before you require fresh consent broadly. For consent evidence storage, keep minimal metadata in your audit log: consent source, timestamp and a scope hash. Keep full records, if needed, in an access-controlled sidecar with short retention. Finally, create owned remediation tickets for mismatches so fixes don't vanish into Slack.
What to watch next? Signal thresholds that should widen your audit. If you see an uptick in complaints about unwanted contact, an increase in manual overrides, or any legal queries about consent, expand the audit scope. Also watch for automation drift. When engineers change triggers or a vendor updates behaviour, rerun a 12-minute check for impacted flows.
Quick recap. 3 takeaways. 1. A short consent habit is high leverage. 12 minutes, repeated, keeps automations honest. 2. Capture 3 evidence fields: consent source, scope map, override owner, and make them discoverable. 3. Start with conservative pilots on high-impact actions to avoid breaking conversion while you fix consent gaps. One practical next consideration question. Pick your highest impact write action today: billing, booking, or callback, and ask, does every recent sample have a clear consent source and scope map? If not, run the 12-minute check now.
If this episode helped you think through a practical way to protect customers and keep your automations useful, visit aiengage.com to read the short checklist article and see example scope map formats. Make AI practical. I'll be back tomorrow with another quick update you can use on your stack. Thanks for listening.